You told me when we first started talking, you'd been in Portal longer than anywhere else you lived,
Right, yep.
and it was 31 years?
31 years I was at Portal, yep.
Yeah. So what I'd like to start with is, how did you come to Portal? When did you come to Portal?
Well, the Willys came to Portal.
Okay.
My in-laws, it's rather an interesting history. My mother-in-law was orphaned by the Iroquois Theater fire in Chicago. Now, people always know about the cow that kicked the bucket, but
Yeah.
in 1900, they had a Iroquois theater. They had fixed it all up very fancy, and my mother-in-law's mother was living in Chicago, and the father had gone panning for gold in Arizona. And so mother took she had 3 daughters, and she took 2 of them with her to this. They had a special viewing on Saturday afternoon for children. So she took the children, but not mother, because, well, there are 2 stories. One said she was naughty, so she had to stay with an aunt, and another one said she was just too young.
Yeah.
But anyway, mother wasn't included.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have the exit marks, and the screen caught on fire,
Oh.
and the whole thing got burned up, and people got smothered with the smoke
Oh.
and everything. So mother became an orphan,
Oh.
and then she was taken because her father was out panning gold. She was taken by her other grandparents to Wisconsin and grew up there.
Oh, where in Wisconsin?
Burlington.
Oh.
It's not too far up from Chicago area.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
why I lived in Green Bay.
There's a lake, there's a lake, inland lake,
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where she grew up. And one time, when she was in about junior high or that age, she went out to Arizona, where her father was, and stayed for 8 or 9 months, a school year, and taught some of the, although she was only a kid herself, she taught some of the natives out there. And so she always wanted to retire. She always loved Arizona. And then after that, she went back to Wisconsin, and she went to school, became a nurse, and my father-in-law was from South Dakota, and he went to medical school in Chicago, and that's how they met.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had promised her, when she kept saying, well, when we retire,
Wow.
let's go to Arizona. And so,
Do you know? Excuse me. Where she went in Arizona to see her dad?
yes, over
Just-
beyond Nogales.
Yeah.
No, it'll come to me that it's a little community
Yeah.
west of there.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's where she went and fell in love with Arizona.
That's what struck me with what you've said so far. She came one time, but she fell in love with
Yeah.
it and knew she wanted to come back.
Yeah, that's what of course, she stayed 8 months or so,
Yeah,
so
so
she,
it was a
was
lot.
more than just a quick
Yeah.
tourist visit, but
Yeah.
she liked it and so forth.
Yeah.
So anyway, they lived all their life in the Chicago area,
Mm-hmm.
married life, and Dad was head of radiology at the medical school at Northwestern.
Mm.
And then he had a private practice there and so forth. So they were able to buy property out here. It was sort of the fad. There was a write-off for a lot of the doctors
Oh. Okay.
to buy a piece out here in Arizona or someplace to go in. So anyway, they were looking for a place. Yeah. And one Sunday in the I think it was either the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, there was an advertisement for a place in Portland. It was an estate that was being settled and they had the place. So they flew out and I should say, my mother-in-law was a country girl all her life. And she loved animals. She raised corgi dogs, all sorts of them. And then she was raising Welsh mountain ponies. So as they came out, thinking of a big ranch, open spaces, and the place that was advertised was where Gene Williams lives now.
Oh, right up in the
Yeah,
canyon.
right up in the canyon. It was very, just a house, I mean a big, relatively big, but a nice house. And more Spanish and more settled than Mother wanted. She wanted open space and for the ponies and stuff. So she wouldn't take it. So the realtor that was showing them around took them back to the airport. They were going to leave town, and she said, Mother said, well, is there any place else here for sale? And the realtor said, no, but there will be. And the house that they ultimately bought was being remodeled by a construction person from Tucson who had horses. And he was building the Craft House, which is up on the mountain. Looks through our picture window, everybody says, don't you get tired of looking at that house? And you just wipe it out, because you see all the pretty mountains and everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mother came and looked at the house, and they ended up buying it.
Do you know what year that was?
I was going to look it up, but I didn't get around to it.
Or,
It was, and to my, I think they took title in '65,
okay.
and we came out in '85 because
Okay.
I was. So anyway, we used to come out every summer, and August, and my husband was one of five, and he was the only one that really
Oh.
was interested. So he inherited the house.